Today we're talking about Visibox media management and optimization. Want to ensure that your Visibox project plays smoothly and reliably? Watch this video and we'll show you how easy it is to ensure that your media files are optimized and ready to go. We've always wanted Visibox to be super easy, flexible, and most of all, reliable. Visibox can play a wide variety of media files, including videos, audio, and images with various resolutions, bit rates, container formats, and codecs. And if you've got a pro plan, we'll even try to convert incompatible files. Want to play old Flash video files, or an old AVI, or control an animated GIF, in the same way as a video, Visibox will automatically convert those things for you. However, we also want you to have a great deal of creative control over your Visibox project. So, for instance, some people will want to play 8K files at 8K. They want them to maintain their fidelity because they've got an 8K output of some type. Whereas other users may just be playing their content through a video projector that is only 1080p at best anyways. The truth is that most video projectors, most video walls are 1080 kind of at best. And so having videos that are higher resolution may require more of your computer to play them back. And it'll be unnecessary because the audience is not seeing that resolution. I've got a whole other video that you can find on YouTube that talks about video projectors. I encourage you to go watch that now. Here, I'll put it right there. I think I'm putting it there. But for now, we're just going to talk about media management in Visibox. Let me show you the project I've got going. I've got a project here with a medium amount of media files. We've got a lot of, files per song. Visibox, you can add as many clips as you want per song, as many clips as you want per project. These are limited in the free version, but if you've got the pro version, basically as many as you want. And the files can be as long as you want, as large as you want. They aren't, they're, read from the drive as you're using them. They're not loaded into memory other than to sort of cache the headers and stuff like that. So they play back low latency. But anyways, I've got a bunch of files in here. I've got some video files in different formats, and I've got some image files. Where did the image files go? And I've got some audio files that are in the background of these. I've got some high-res video files, 8K and 4K video files that I found so that I could demo this. And I've even got a video here that has multi-channel audio. We're not in multi-channel format right now. We're not playing back in multi-channel, but we'll see that in a moment. So okay, let's load up the media optimization capabilities of Visibox, and I'll walk you through it. So at the bottom of the project menu, you'll find the Manage Media link, which brings up what we call the Media Management Overlay. It's called an overlay because it overlays the project that you have, because it is related. It is the project that you're working on here. So we've overlaid it, and it's an overlay. Let me walk you through the interface here so that you can understand what's happening and how it will help you to optimize files. Right now, we're seeing 97 files, and it's saying 23 of them need optimization. As you roll over these, you get these helpful tooltips for buttons and various bits and pieces in here. Will give you a little bit of help. I'm going to kind of start in the middle here with the optimization target. Basically, when we're saying something needs to be optimized, we need to sort of figure out what the criteria is by which we're saying, hey, this is more than you want. So for example, if we set the optimization target to 1080p, videos and images that are larger than that size will be what we call out of range. But we also make some assumptions, for example, with 1080p, that you probably don't want to play 60 frames per second, but maybe you do. So either, if I were to click on this, it would optimize all of the recommended files, and you can see the recommended files here because they have red outlines around the part of them that is out of range. And so, 59.94 or 60 frames per second is out of range for 1080p, but we've kept it in range for 4K or 8K. Ultimately, it's up to you as to which you want to do. So you can either, optimize all of them at once, or you can go through and optimize each one. But it's based on this optimization target. And you can see if we choose 4K, it says only 6 need optimization. If we choose 8K, then only 2 need optimization. And if we choose 720, it's going to be that many more. It's going to be 83 files that are wanting to be optimized at that. But again, you don't need to adhere to necessarily our suggestions. You can optimize any files. In fact, there might be reasons that you might want to optimize files that are not out of range if they're glitching or something has gone wrong, if they're corrupted files. Sometimes optimizing regular files will recompress them, and sometimes that'll actually help things work. One of the things in the video files and any media files is this idea of bitrate. Bitrate basically is the speed at which the drive needs to be able to read the file in order to play the file without it glitching. It's basically the size of the file divided by the number of seconds long that the file is, gives you the bit rate per second. And if that number is out of range, it means that it's a little more likely to glitch. But it's really going to glitch based on the speed of the drive that your computer has, and ultimately sort of the overall ability that your computer has to decompress, read the codecs for the file, and decompress it and convert it into bits to show on your screen. So we've added here a speed test that tests the speed of the drive that your project is on. So one of the things about Visibox is that your project is all self-contained in a directory. It works a little bit differently on Mac and Windows, but you can take a Mac project and bring it on Windows, and a Windows project and bring it on Mac, and it'll still work. But basically, it's a directory that has all of your media files in it, and that allows us to know that your files aren't strewn across several drives that are running at different speeds. It also allows you to transfer your project between computers pretty easily. So there's a speed test right here. And if we run the speed test, we will see what the bit rate is of the drive. It writes up a bunch of data to the drive and then reads it back and sees how fast it can be read back. And this is the internal SSD drive, is the Macintosh HD drive on my MacBook Pro here. And 5.1 gigabytes is the quantitative number, and we also give you sort of a qualitative evaluation. Excellent. You probably don't want to play, certainly, in front of do a performance off of like a thumb drive or something super slow like that. And sometimes it's a little confusing as to even sort of where your project is. This gives you that information sort of all in one place. It shows you which drive it's on and the speed of that drive. If this weren't fast enough and you wanted to move it to another drive, basically you could just close this all down, quit Visibox, find the project directory, or in the Mac, looks more like a file, and then just move that from the thumb drive or whatever media it's on that's slow to something faster like an SSD drive. Thumb drive, bad idea. Even like a spinning drive may be slower than you want. Ultimately, it's really a measure of this speed versus this speed. And you want the speed, the bit rate of your files. Let's sort by bit rate here. So we get the biggest ones at the top. The bit rate here should be considerably less than the hard drive speed. And this is 7.3 megabytes, and this is 5.1 gigabytes. So that's significantly different. But if they're somehow coming close, that's a bad sign. So, so let's optimize some stuff, and I can show you a few other things here. Actually, I think I didn't go through the headers here. Let me go through the headers. We can sort by media type here. A, audio is before I, image is before V, video, and the audio files, not only do they have a waveform to them, they have this little note icon that's overlaying. The image files have a little mountain icon, and the video files have a little movie camera. The video files have a movie camera icon. You can sort by the name of the files. You can change the names of the files here as well, and they will show up when you hover over the clips in your controller. So if that's helpful for you, you can rename them. You can also see the song that this media file is associated with. Visibox has some built-in optimization, different kind of optimization, data optimization rather than media optimization, where if you drag in multiple images or videos or other media files, Visibox will recognize that it's the same, and it won't add the new file to your directory because it already has that file, and it will just create references. In the process of creating these multiple references for multiple clips, you can have the same clip with the same file in multiple songs. So you can see here, this will make more sense if you're actually using it. But basically you can see the songs that are associated with this. I don't have any clips that are exist in multiple songs here that I'm seeing, but you can have multiple songs here. You can also sort by the duration of the clip. If you click again, it will sort ascending. Image files show as infinity because they don't end. But the other types of files, you can see the length of them here, which is just helpful for sort of understanding what's going on with your project. This next column allows you to sort by optimized or unoptimized clips. Right now we don't have any optimized clips, so I won't do that. Variant will show us when we have optimized clips. More information about them. You can sort by dimensions here. Our largest file is an image file that is 667 pixels by 6,067 pixels by 8,089 pixels. It's big. Also, if the image or video is adhering to a common aspect ratio, you'll see the aspect ratio here is 16:9. This is a 1:1 square. This one's 2:3, so on and so forth. Just sort of helpful for getting more information. You can also see the frames per second of your video files. Audio files and images do not have a frames per second. They don't have frames. But this one's 60 frames per second. This one's 59.94. I won't get into all that, but you can also see audio files and how many channels they have. We have some a number of multi-channel audio files that are related to this project, and then we have a video file here that has 4 channels of audio. I happen to know that this file has a stereo mix of the drums and a stereo mix of the bass. I've been performing shows with sort of a virtual backing band, and by keeping the channels separated, they're able to go to the front house separated, be mixed separately, and all that kind of stuff. But that's what that is. And then you can also see the overall size. That video happens to be the largest one in the project at 364.57 megabytes, and the bit rate of that, even though it's the largest file, it doesn't have the largest bit rate because it's a long file. It's a 5-minute and 41-second video file. And then you can also see the bit rate, sort by bit rate to find the highest bit rate, and sort by codecs. I won't get too far into codecs, but it's helpful to sort of understand. For instance, these PCM files here are probably WAV files. So PCM is uncompressed audio, and we've got uncompressed 16-bit audio, and this one looks like it's uncompressed 24-bit audio, just so you know. And if I were to optimize this WAV file. So right now it's an 8-channel WAV file playing at full audio fidelity. However, that means it needs to play at 1.1 megabytes per second, which is not a lot, but it may be playing back at the same time as other things or other videos. If I were to optimize this one, I'm going to, let me find this file, Park at Night, but let me sort it a little bit differently. Let me search for Park. And there we go. There's the file. And if I optimize it, you can see it was 8 channels to start with. It's 8 channels at the end, but it's a FLAC file now. So it went from being 1.1 megabytes per second to being 0.4 megabytes per second. It went from being 155 megabytes as a file down to being 59 megabytes as a file. So that's some of why you might want to optimize existing files. FLAC is also technically a lossless format, but it is compressed. So technically you haven't actually lost any fidelity with that conversion. But let's look at some of these other things. So like I said, I mean, you could just simply click here and optimize everything all at once. Or you might have a file that's acting goofy. You could come here and try to optimize it to see if it is acting less goofy. This file is already looking goofy because it's showing as H.264 unknown. So it's got some audio, and we don't know why the audio is showing as an unknown codec. But yeah, so let's optimize all of our images, because as I said earlier, images tend to be out of range. And in fact, all of our images are out of range. I could, click here to optimize. I could click here to optimize. Images will optimize very quickly because basically we just read the bits and write out new bits, and it all happens pretty quickly. But if you shift click on one, or if you click on one and then shift click, you'll do a whole range selection. And so by doing that, I get 15 selected media files here, image files, and I can optimize them all at once. And that happens very quickly. And now, as you can see, where did they go? All of our image files are showing as optimized. Basically, this what optimized files look like is this. Basically, they get sort of split into multiple rows, and we can see, because it's the darker version, that here's the optimized one, which is at 1080 resolution, and the original is still there. This is a non-destructive process, so we're still keeping the original file. If you found that you weren't happy with the recompression or the quality of it, you can revert it back. So if I just click right here, it will just revert right back. And if I click it again, it will convert again. And so that's where here you can sort by all of the optimized stuff at the top, and just see what you've got optimized. However, we've still got 6 files that need optimization. These are they. And I can just select them all. These are all video files. Video files take considerably more time to convert, but let's just convert them all. The problem is that right now I'm showing only the files that are out of range, so let's sort of switch modes here. Actually, I'm going to do a little time lapse. All right, now when I sort by optimized, we can see we've got all of these files, these video files that need to be optimized have been optimized. Basically, all of our, the highest resolution of anything in our project is 1080, and that's what we'll play. You can see there's no more red marks throughout this. Another feature that we've got in the media management here also is the ability to add custom thumbnails to things in the project. This is a feature that people have asked for various reasons. Oftentimes the thumbnails that are generated, maybe all the content is kind of very similar, and so you can't tell the difference enough just based on the thumbnails alone. Or maybe you've got a Stream Deck that's part of a museum kiosk or something like that, and you wanted to be able to put different information on the Stream Deck buttons than are a thumbnail. So let's basically take this one here. We can upload a custom thumbnail, and I happen to have some custom thumbnails that I've created here, and you can see basically it just swaps that out with my custom thumbnail one. You can also likewise let me switch over to the Finder here and take, custom thumbnail 2 and just drag it over here. Custom thumbnail, on and on like that. So you can just drag them in as well. And then when we go back to the project, we've got custom thumbnails here. So, we've got what's playing is different, but it's a way to basically control what is shown as a thumbnail for that media file. So there you have it. The Visibox optimization system. We wanted to make sure that Visibox was easy to use, but also really powerful and reliable. And as people were having problems with their projects not playing back as efficiently as they needed or wanted, and we go back and forth on tech support, we've kind of developed some sort of best practices, and basically this media optimization, media management window is a way to sort of provide some guidelines around this. Obviously, you can and maybe you should optimize your files before bringing them into Visibox, but this is a nice way of basically just being able to drag in anything you find and be able to optimize it within Visibox. Anyways, I hope this is helpful for you. And here's to smooth, easy, awesome, immersive performances.